Hey there, it's another beautiful day. I just want to take a second and tell Brent and any other Houstonian that's watching, happy 713 day. I know we're in the midst right now of the Silver Boot series. Go Astros. Kicked butt last night. That was a fantastic game, and looking forward to today's game. It's going to be a great weekend. Let's watch some stuff.
If you're an AT&T customer, you've likely had records of your text messages and phone calls leaked. That's the word from AT&T this morning. The company says that nearly all of its customers had their records of their text messages and phone calls leaked in 2022. So you might be wondering why they're just now telling us about this. I'm wondering that too. The company says the hack data did not include the actual contents of what we were saying in our text messages and phone calls. It is just the records. They also don't think this information is publicly available. So I guess those are kind of two good things, could be worse. They think that the leak happened by an illegal download on a third-party cloud platform, and they learned about this leak in April. So they learned about it in April. It took place in 2022, and they are just releasing it publicly today in July of 2024. The stolen logs do contain a record of every single text message or phone call that every customer has ever made.
That's a pretty extensive data breach, and it was over a year ago that it actually happened, and just yesterday they're finally like, hey, so this happened. It's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm glad I don't have AT&T. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get it in an upcoming video. If you're having a good time, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, and then come back tomorrow, because I'm making a new video every day.
An unrelenting stream of immigration. Non-stop.
Folks, I need you to listen to me. This is really important. The three most dangerous letters in the alphabet right now are NGO, non-governmental organizations. These groups are waging war on America through migration.
They have United Nations facilities here, and the people pushing this are leading people.
To what extent is the United Nations facilitating the border crisis?
They're throwing rocks.
Now, here's the craziest thing. America is funding these NGOs.
Under the Biden administration, nearly $1.3 billion of U.S. taxpayer money was given to the UN and other agencies assisting migrants in 2023, including direct cash assistance.
Folks, you can look at every illegal alien as a soldier in this war against America, and we are funding them with direct cash assistance. This is insanity.
What's all this? And they said, oh yeah, these are the debit cards. We're giving these debit cards to the immigrants.
This new documentary, Weapons of Mass Migration, is eye-opening because we all know there's a problem with the open border. This gets to the root of why there's a problem.
Anybody who says that illegal immigration is not a problem is absolutely blind, because you see what's happening to the cities where these people are going. I mean, they're fleeing their own country because of these problems, but then they come to our country and they turn these cities into little parts of the country that they had fled, which is terrible. And we're allowing it. We're giving them money. We're funding it. And we just covered how Biden brought over 500,000 illegal immigrants by plane. Just freaking brought them over. Yeah, here you go. Welcome to our country. It's because Biden is banking on the immigrant vote. But none of them are allowed to vote. But he's trying to get them to be able to vote. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem. I'm going to try doing something differently with my channel. I think on Mondays, I'm going to do a focus topic, and we'll just stick on one topic every Monday, and it'll be a little bit of a longer video. I'll still do the random stuff throughout the week, but every Monday will be my new anchor episode. So hopefully that works out. I'm going to try my hand at that. I don't do so well with the speaking, but I'm going to make it work, I think.
Americans are famous for being infantile. We love to go out and have hamburgers and hot dogs and watch a ball game. And like with the kids. No, you're going out there because you are a kid. You are the kid. This is why in all ball games, always, football and basketball and I don't care, tennis ball and soccer. I mean, America loves ball games because we're just a bunch of children loving ball games. But in all the ball games, you will always see movie stars. They will zoom in on movie stars who are there at the game, or the president's there, or the senator is there with his wife watching the game. So it's like, oh, the adults are out watching the game with us kids, you know. And they will have the president go out and throw the first ball. Daddy's coming out to play ball with us, you know. I saw through that crap a long time ago. I don't care who's at the ball game. I want to know what these guys are doing at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to know what they're doing at 3 o'clock in the morning in their secret meetings, planning the demise of my country and planning the destruction of human freedom. I want to know who these criminals are. I'm not interested to see them at a ball game. I'm not impressed with their ball games. I'm not impressed with them. And I don't like being played for a fool. And that's all America is doing, is playing everybody for a fool. It's about time we wake up and find out this ball game is over.
It took me a minute to figure out the takeaway from this particular video. And everybody has a different perspective, so yours may not be the same as mine. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, we love being at a ball game. I know I do. And you do see that when you're watching it on TV, any ball game. Oh, look, this person's here and that person's here, this politician, the president, this movie star. And then what it does is it makes you go, oh, they're just like me. They like the ball game too. And then you stop thinking about them beyond that. There's ish going on behind the scenes, and it stops you from thinking that, because you're like, oh, he was at the ball game. He's just a normal bloke. Or she's just a normal chick, right? But, you know, you don't think beyond that. And yeah, you should want to know what's going on behind the curtains, but the fact that they're a normal person, you just kind of let it slide. I don't know, that's what I get from it. My candle burnt out. All right, I'm going to fix that.
The Colosseum distracted the Romans from the politics, so they just built more. The Roman Colosseum is back, keeping you more distracted than ever. Give them bread and circuses and they will never revolt. While you're busy worrying about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, the FDA is releasing data right under your nose. Your favorite football team keeps you distracted, busy on Sundays, and Vegas loves your money, because we all know the house always wins. LeBron Jordan debate is so 3D. They keep you consumed with what doesn't matter, so you're oblivious to what does. Open up those eyes and join me in the 5D.
Those words were at the very end of the last video. Give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt. I had never heard those words before, so I had to find something, and this is what I found. And it makes a lot of sense. There's always some kind of huge diversion, whether it's being created or it's just happening. That's an opportunity for something else to go on the sidelines, right? Since we're talking about sports. But I totally understand why sports can be used as a diversion. I mean, I don't think that sports were necessarily created for that diversion, but they certainly can be used for that, because a good portion of the population stops and pays attention to what's going on in sports, while all of this stuff is happening over here, right? That makes a lot of sense.
Matthias is onto something, and he calls it mass formation psychosis. So when he says mass formation, you can think of this equivalent to crowd. So it's crowd psychosis. That's what we're really talking about. There's easy ways to fix groupthink by just bringing in dissenting voices and making sure you give them platforms. With mass formation psychosis, this is like hypnosis. It really is hypnosis. This is what happened to the German people. If you live in Europe, or you have a relative who's a Holocaust survivor, or also if you've lived behind the Soviet Union curtain, Eastern Europe, etc., this is a fundamental problem that people have, is understanding how can, for instance, the German people, who are highly educated, very liberal in the classic sense, Western thinking people, how could they go so crazy, so deep into crazy land that they were doing what they did to the Jews? How could this happen to a civilized people? And this is the explanation for that. It has been a major focus of academic inquiry for decades and decades in Europe. So with what we're experiencing here, you have to have a set of preconditions. And walk with me back to, remember 2019? It seems like forever ago. The precursors for mass formation psychosis is you have to have a situation in which the population is decoupled from each other. They don't have social bonds. Everybody on their little cell phones and everything else, okay, where we're fragmented into our communities, Facebook communities, and other things. Yes, there are tribes, but we're now in a situation where there's sub-tribes. Everybody's fragmented. Nobody's feeling connected, okay? There's got to be a lack of sense-making. The world has to somehow not make sense. What's happening in the world, it just seems to be overwhelming. Things don't make sense.
This is a little different from mass psychosis, which I'm familiar with. We actually did an episode a while ago about these schools, right, that had aliens come and visit them and all that stuff, and people are saying, oh no, these kids just had some mass psychosis. I'll leave a link in the description to that video and you can check it out. But this is different. This is mass formation psychosis. It's a lot more than just, a group of school kids thinking they saw the same thing. This is completely different. This is a fantastic topic. Thank you so much, Jerry Howard, for suggesting it. Here's another video that explains a little more where this last one left off.
We as a society have become grossly fragmented through social media, electronic appliances, the stress of what we've experienced. And this leads into this whole issue of mass formation psychosis that Matthias Desmet at the University of Ghent has promoted. What happened in Germany in the 20s and 30s? Very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. And how did that happen? The answer is mass formation psychosis. When you have a society that has become decoupled from each other and has free-floating anxiety and a sense that things don't make sense, we can't understand it. And then their attention gets focused by a leader or a series of events on one small point, just like hypnosis. They literally become hypnotized and can be led anywhere. And one of the aspects of that phenomena is the people that they identify as their leaders, the ones typically that come in and say, you have this pain and I can solve it for you. I and I alone, okay, can fix this problem for you. Okay, then they will follow that person through. It doesn't matter whether they lie to them or whatever. The data are irrelevant. And furthermore, anybody who questions that narrative is to be immediately attacked. They are the other. This is central to mass formation psychosis. And this is what has happened. We had all those conditions. If you remember back before 2019, everybody was complaining, the world doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. And we're all isolated from each other. We're all on our little tools. We're not connected socially anymore, except through social media. And then this thing happened and everybody focused on it. That is how mass formation psychosis happens.
This is absolutely what is going on in our country. And it's been going on ever since Donald Trump announced his candidacy the very first time. And I've noticed the division a lot more than I had ever noticed it before in my lifetime. Ever since his first announcement, I've walked on both sides. I was raised as a Republican. I became a Democrat probably in like 2010, something like that. And about halfway through Biden's term, well, maybe about a year into Biden's term, I went back to Republican. And that's where my heart is. Like I'm still, I always had Republican values, but I had Democratic political views for quite a while, and then it got crazy. It got really weird. But still, the divide right now, and each of them is coming out and saying, hey, I'm the only one that can save you from this. And it's separating our people, pitting against each other. News outlets are just constantly pitting against each other. Oh, this is the only person that can save us. So while these two are sitting here saying, this person's horrible, I'm the only one that can save you, bickering their little back and forths, in the background, in my head, this is what I see looming, is that bird flu thing, right? Not only the bird flu, but the potential for a World War III is looming. And only I can save you, and only I can save you. And that's what's happening right now. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. On that note, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things. And it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.